somebody in the Lok Sabha on the 14th of July 1998. It was a woman MP. Today, she is the 3-time Chief Minister of Bengal. She is the founder chairperson of the Trinamool Congress. And sir, she has already got 40% of her women MPs already in the Lok Sabha. From 14th of July 1998, let this woman's story be told. In 2006, a 26-day hunger strike, no reservation, struggling and fighting for her rights as a woman. In 2014, setting a record because the bill didn't get passed. So what did she do? She gave 41% tickets in the Lok Sabha to women MPs. The BJP president, the first speaker, was saying this is the shortest way to bring women to parliament. No, sir, this is not the shortest way. You didn't need the bill. Bring them, show us, and bring them to parliament. Now you come to the life of this woman. 2019, she sets a record. Not only does she give 40% women tickets, 39% women Lok Sabha MPs are already sitting in the Lok Sabha. Why do I say this? It is one thing to give the women tickets. It's another thing to make sure you give them tickets which are winnable. One man's story, sir, we've heard. One woman's story needs to be told today in this new parliament building. I'll tell you more. My last date, 2021, assembly elections in Bengal. The men came with money, with media, with muscle power, with misogyny, and mocked her. Didi, oh Didi. You even tried to smash and you broke her foot, smashed it to injure her. Yes, she gave you the answer truly like a woman. Softly, softly. Good. When I talk about Mr. Modi and Mr. Shah, I get under the skin, I know. Sir, the woman answered her how? The women didn't answer. The people of Bengal in India provided the answer. And after the election, what happened? The health minister of Bengal, the finance minister of Bengal, the land minister, the industry minister, the commerce ministry are all headed by women. You couldn't find one woman in your 16 chief ministers to make a chief minister, and you're coming and telling us what to do about women. Take some of our advice. Now we'll give you, like how we gave you in 1998, you're trying to implement in 2045 or whatever. Listen to 2 pieces of advice from us and take it in good spirit. Because women, at least my chairperson has a vision which I look up to. So here's one suggestion. If you're so keen, and now it's past 2 p.m. already, so nobody can submit any amendments, as we are all saying, the Congress party, the Trinamool, the DMK, the AAP, all of us, we, India, we are saying, bring this in 2024. So all you need to do to bring this in 2024 is remove 334A from your existing bill. Bring it, we'll start in 2024. Yes. If you're, one second, sir. If you're finding that difficult to do, here's another solution. At least try. 2024, an open challenge from my party. You bring 1/3 of women elected from your party and show us. Yeah. Bring and show us. I guarantee you, we will bring 1/3 of women with your bill, without your bill. Sir, some people have a sense of humor, and I'm sure we haven't lost our sense of humor here, because the joke going around is there's a typographical error in the bill, that actually it's 2024, should actually they meant 2034. Now, I don't know whether that's true or false, but I've got a second suggestion. It was very nice, sir, your idea this morning of having ladies sit there for 15 minutes, 16 minutes all through the day. So here's an idea which may not happen in 24, but think about it. It's coming to you from my party as a suggestion. Get everybody on board, have proper discussion on the subject, and then bring 1/3 women reservation also in Rajya Sabha. We will all support. It can't be done in a hurry, but bring it. Today you may think it's a crazy, zany idea, but no, this is possible, if not in the next 6 years, in the next 10 years. The question is, sir, for all the speeches we hear, is the BJP really serious about empowering women? Because all the struggles and oppression faced by women is not because of women. It's because of men and the outlook of men to women. I don't want to spend time wasting my time on a former wrestling chief. Leave that. I'm quoting from the Hindustan Times. Quote, people in air-conditioned rooms in Delhi cannot decide public policy. This bill will drown the Indian political system if it goes through. If men develop feminine traits, they become gods. If women develop masculine traits, they become rakshas. Western ideas of women's liberation should be properly analyzed in the Indian context. Unquote. Said by who? I'll tell you who said it. You can build a new building, sir, but I request all of you to first change your mindset. Yes. This was said by the current Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh. Sir, in conclusion, I'm happy I'm being allowed to conclude today. In the old house, at least, I wasn't allowed, but I'm happy. Sir, I wish to conclude by remembering my favorite woman of all time, my ma, my mother, who's no more. Ma would always tell me that, you know, Derek, this world is divided into only two kinds of people: the talkers and the doers. So some people will talk. 15 crore into your, 15 lakhs into your bank account, farmer income, triple, after demonetization, this will happen, after that will happen. There is one difference, sir. The talkers and the doers. There is only one difference. Because there are only two kinds of people. So there's a talker and there's a doer. There's a male Prime Minister of India. There's a simple woman who's the Chief Minister of Bengal. Thank you so much.
Shri Derek O'Brien is called upon to authenticate two statements made by him. One, men came with money, and second, the allegation he has leveled by quoting the present Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh, Shri Manas, during course of the day, Shri Manas Ranjan Mangraj. Authenticate it.
Thank you, Chairman, sir.
Already Mr. Jairam Ramesh, Mr. Chidambaram
Thank you, Chairman,
is yet
sir.
to do it. No,
I support this bill.
it has to be.
मैं बिल को समर्थन करता हूं, सर.
1 second. No.
मैं मेरा
During course
मातृभाषा
of the
उड़िया
day,
में बोलने के लिए चाहता हूं.
The
सर,
direction is very clear. No
BJP
member.
ସବୁବେଳେ ସାଧାରଣ
1 second.
ଜୀବନ-
Sit down.
ଜନଜୀବନ
1
ତଥା
second. 1 second. 1
ସମାଜର
second.
ସମସ୍ତ କ୍ଷେତ୍ରରେ
1 second, honorable member. 1 second. I had indicated very firmly, this is not a place to trade allegations. Every member has a right. Every member has a right to say anything. You will have to authenticate during course of the day. That's a directive. Shri Manas Ranjan Mangraj. Sit, take your seat. Manas Bangan Raja. No floor. Nothing will go on record. Nothing will go on record. Sit down. You have to sit down. Don't force my hands. Sit down. You will have to comply the directive. No. If you level an allegation that Prime Minister of this country went to West Bengal with money, and you still want me to condone it, prove it. Shri Manas Ranjan Mangraj. Shri Manas Ranjan Mangraj. Do you want to take, please?
Thank you,
Your
Chairman, sir.
time is 3 minutes.
I support this bill,
Please
sir.
continue.
मैं मेरा मातृभाषा उड़िया में बोलने के लिए चाहता हूं, सर.
Yes.
सर, बीजेडी सबुबेले साधारण जनजीवन तथा समाजर समस्त क्षेत्र में महिला सशक्तिकरण दिगरे सर्वदा कार्य करि आसुअछि. 1992 मसीह ओडिशार तत्कालीन मुख्यमंत्री श्री विजु पट्टनायक एक ऐतिहासिक निष्पत्ति क्रमे ओडिशार पंचायत राज अनुष्ठान मानकरे महिलांक पई 33% संरक्षण व्यवस्था करथिले. सर, 2011 रे तांको पुओ तथा बीजेडी सभापति तथा मान्यवर
அலட்சியத்தை தவிர்த்துவிட்டு இந்தியாவினுடைய அனைத்து முன்னேற்றமும் அறிவியல் பூர்வமான பார்வையிலே இருந்து உருவாகிற விஷயங்கள் அவற்றை எல்லாம் மறுதலித்து புராணங்களை வரலாறு என்றும் இதிகாசங்களை அறிவியல் என்றும் மீண்டும் மீண்டும் நீங்கள் நிலைநிறுத்த நினைக்கிறீர்கள். அது உங்களுடைய பார்வையை மக்களிடம் அம்பலப்படுத்துவதற்கு தான் உறுதி செய்யும். எப்படி ஒரு ராக்கெட் விண்ணிலே போகிற பொழுது அது உதிர்த்து கீழே தள்ளுகிற கரிப்புகையை போல உங்களது பொய்யும் கதைகளும் கீழே விழுந்து இந்தியா வரலாற்று ரீதியாகவும் அறிவியல் ரீதியாகவும் முன்னோக்கி செல்லும். 40-50 ஆண்டுகளுக்கு முன்பு நம்மை பார்த்து ஒரு சைக்கிளிலே ராக்கெட்டை கொண்டு போன இஸ்ரோ தான் இன்றைக்கு செவ்வாய் விண்கலத்திற்கு தன்னுடைய முயற்சியை தொடர்ந்து கொண்டிருக்கிறது. 50 ஆண்டுகளுக்கு முன்பு தொற்று நோயை ஒழிக்க முடியாது என்று சொன்ன உலக நாடுகள் இந்தியாவை சொன்னது. ஆனால் இன்றைக்கு தொற்று நோயை நாம் முழுமையாக ஒழித்திருக்கிறோம். எருமைப்பாலிலே இருந்து பவுடர் உருவாக்கி இந்தியாவின் ஊட்டச்சத்தை வளர்த்திருக்கிறோம். இது அனைத்தும் அறிவியல் பார்வையோடு திடமான ஒரு இந்தியா மூட நம்பிக்கையை தகர்த்து முன்னேறியது. எனவே நீங்கள் உங்களது மூட நம்பிக்கையை தகர்த்து இந்தியாவின் அறிவியல் தலைமுறை முன்னேறும் என்பதை சந்திராயன் பறைசாற்றுகிறது என்று சொல்லி முடிக்கிறேன். வணக்கம்.
Please, thank you. Honorable Member Tejaswi Surya ji.
Madam Speaker, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to speak in the very first special session of this Parliament in this new Parliament building. We have assembled here today to discuss and pass a resolution congratulating our scientists, the scientific community of the country, for their glorious achievement in successfully completing the Chandrayaan Mission 3. On behalf of 1 billion Indians, and most importantly on behalf of young Indians who look up to climbing new frontiers in science and technology, I thank all the scientists of ISRO for inspiring a generation of Indians by achieving something that was considered impossible. It's only rare that in the history of a nation, moments like this come, which inspires and unites a nation, and the landing of the Chandrayaan mission on the moon was one such rare moment where the whole nation stood in unison, saluting the scientific prowess and achievement of this great country. While I am indeed proud that our country became the very first nation in the world to land successfully on the south side of the moon, I am even more proud that I represent a city which is the science capital of India. And even this mission, Chandrayaan 3, while it is made in India, it was also made in Bengaluru, the city that I represent. Most speakers who have spoken earlier than me have highlighted the achievements of ISRO in the last few decades and how the scientists of ISRO have not only shown the world how to make efficient space missions, but also do it in a cost-effective manner. I wouldn't want to repeat most of the points that have been already covered. I would only want to say that the last 9 years have truly been historic for the country, even in the space and technology realm. Under the leadership of the Honorable Prime Minister, not only have we increased the budget for ISRO, budget for space exploration by a whopping 142%, we have also strengthened scientific institutions, whether it is CSIR, whether it is funding for IISc, or leveraging technology to benefit the last mile delivery of services to the people. UPI की बात हो या e-NAM की बात हो, स्टार्टअप से लेकर सेरिकल्चर इंजीनियरिंग तक, स्पोर्ट्स इंजीनियरिंग से लेकर क्वांटम कंप्यूटिंग तक, अटल इनोवेशन मिशन से लेकर नेशनल रिसर्च फाउंडेशन तक कई सारे चीज पिछले 9 साल में मोदी सरकार ने किए हैं, जो अपने देश के साइंटिफिक इंस्टीट्यूशंस के फाउंडेशन है, इसको बलवर्धन करने के लिए हिस्टोरिक एंड रेवोल्यूशनरी चीज पिछले 9 साल में हुए। मैडम, आई वांटेड टू कीप माय स्पीच as apolitical as possible. I wanted to keep my speech as academic as possible. But the speakers from the opposition benches have indulged in a continuous Nehru bhajan from morning, instead of doing a bhajan of ISRO and ISRO scientists. And that is leaving me with no option but to correct and place before this honorable house, this august house, some very important facts about what was the contribution of certain figures whose hagiography is trying to be written today by members of the opposition. An impression is made to be given that everything scientific in India, all scientific achievements in India, whether it is ISRO, whether it is DRDO, whether it is CISR, whether it is IISc, every scientific achievement in India is credited to Nehru. But the reality is far from that. Madam Speaker, I want to highlight to you the fact that most of the scientific institutions that are a nation's pride today were all started by people in pre-independence India when Nehru had no role to play. And all those pioneers who had the grand vision to establish these institutions, even at the time of the British India, are not even mentioned, even cursorily, when the nation is celebrating its scientific prowess. I only want to take the example of 1 or 2 people. Kanimoyiji, I am quoting the example of Arkat Mudaliar, coming from Tamil Nadu. Please hear it out. In 1940, 1942, when India was not independent, Arkat Ramaswamy Mudaliar, he envisioned an institution by the name Council of Scientific and Industrial Research in India and established it from 1942 to 1942 with the help of Shanti Swarup Bhatnagar. Nehru had nothing to do with it. Today, most number of patents in the country are filed because of CSIR, and it is one of the most important scientific research organizations in the country, and Nehru had nothing to do with it. Let me tell you what role Nehru played. Immediately after independence, when the institute, CSIR, was brought under the Ministry of Industries and Commerce. In one of the meetings, at the very beginning of the CSIR after independence, Pandit Nehru says, the members of the governing body will appreciate that it is difficult for me to devote much time to many aspects of the work of the council. For the present everyday work, Dr. Shyama Prasad Mukherjee will, however, look after the council. It was because of Dr. Shyama Prasad Mukherjee, the founding father of my party, the earlier avatar of the Bharatiya Janata Party, Jan Sangh, that the country's earliest scientific establishments were strengthened and gotten strengthened at the root level. Dr. Shyama Prasad Mukherjee, as the Minister of Industries and Commerce, set up the National Physical Laboratory, National Chemical Laboratory, National Metallurgical Laboratory, Fuel Research Institute, Ceramic Research Institute, Central Leather Institute, Central Electrochemical Institute. All of these institutions were started, strengthened, and supported by Dr. Shyama Prasad Mukherjee. But today, Arcot Ramaswamy's name is not mentioned. Dr. Shyama Prasad Mukherjee's name is not mentioned. Shanti Swarup Bhatnagar's name is not mentioned. Morning till now, I have been seeing it's only Nehru Bhajan that is going on. The cosmos of the Congress party starts with Nehru and ends with Rahul Gandhi. It is unfortunate, but it is necessary for us to inform the nation through this August House what Nehru truly did, even when it came to atomic research. I want to draw the attention of the members from the opposition when acquisition of missiles and research in atomic bombs, nuclear bombs, for protecting the country's national security, energy security was made to Nehru. This is what Pandit Nehru says, and I quote, the distribution of this toy, the toy that he is mentioning is the atom bomb, a nuclear bomb. The distribution of this toy, the atom bomb, ballistic missiles and the like to countries will not only be dangerous, very dangerous, but it will completely poison the already disturbed atmosphere of the world today. He then goes on to say, the making of the atom bomb is dangerous and dreadful, and he was the first person to advocate the resistance policy of excluding India and other Asian nations from the nuclear club, a policy that would later be written into the non-proliferation treaty that India would spend decades fighting, when he claimed that the going of this atomic weapon into an Asian country's hands would be a dreadful thing, a very dangerous thing. It took an Atal Bihari Vajpayee to make the nation a nuclear-capable nation in 1999, 1998. It was very different. You know, Manishji, you know the details. You know how different 1974 and 1998 was. You know what was the difference, Manishji. You know what was the difference. You know what was the difference between the two. You know what was the difference between. You know what was the difference between Indiraji's time and what was Atalji's time. We never did it in an apologetic matter. We did it as a matter of conviction.
Okay.
Madam Speaker, if you look at the history, there is one thing that will be clear. काम हमेशा दूसरों का होता है, क्रेडिट तो नेहरू का होता है. Even in the case of Chandrayaan, it has been the same case. Chandrayaan first, it was our Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee who approved Chandrayaan first in 2003. What happened? It was in 2008 that the impact mission reached the moon. And then the Congress government, UPA government, what did they do? The point on which the impact rover met, they named it as Jawahar Point. When Nehru had nothing to do with Chandrayaan 1, the impact point, however, was Jawahar Point. Former ISRO chief, let us talk about Chandrayaan 2. Former ISRO chief Madhavan Nair has gone on record to say that for political reasons, UPA2 delayed political clearances, denied approvals for Chandrayaan 2. It was Chandrayaan 3 again. Our government, Modi government, that approved Chandrayaan-3, and despite the loss, despite the challenges that we faced during Chandrayaan-2, the Prime Minister was there in Bengaluru, patting the back of our scientists, strengthened them, motivated them, and prepped them to make sure that Chandrayaan-3 was a success. The difference, Madam Speaker, is when Chandrayaan-3 met with success, the Honorable Prime Minister of the country named the point as Tiranga point and Shiv Shakti point and not did bhajan of any particular individual.
Please conclude.
Madam, allow me 2-3 minutes more, please.
Please.
There are 2-3 important issues that needs to be brought to the notice of this August House. Madam Speaker, the difference between naming Tiranga point, Shiv Shakti point and the naming of Jawahar point, the worldview, the difference in the worldview is what differentiates the Congress, the India Alliance and the Bharatiya Janata Party and the NDA Alliance. This is the difference. Madam, I want to take another example. Madam, I was listening to one of the speakers from the opposition credit Rajiv Gandhi for telecommunication and computer revolution in India. With all humility, I want to submit that the doyen of the country's computer industry and BPO industry and IT industry, N.R. Narayan Murthy, a few years ago, went on record and said that when they started Infosys, he had to travel 50 times to Delhi and it took 3 years for him to purchase one particular computer, import one computer. This was the state of affairs of this country for entrepreneurs, for scientists who wanted to start something new. And again, the credit काम किसी ने दूसरे ने किया, credit तो राजीव गांधी को जा रहा है. Madam, I also want to point this out. The exploration of space, the quest to understand what lies in the space is not something new for this civilization. Starting from the Rig Veda to this day, the journey has been continuous. Aryabhata, Varahamihira, Bhaskara, all of them postulated theories on units of time, of understanding how the heliocentrism of the solar system works. All of these indicate the natural quest of the Indian mind to understand the secrets that lie beyond the space. Never in our history, never in our civilizational history was any scientific man or woman persecuted, hunted down for their beliefs, for their theories and postulates. Whereas in other civilizations, you will find examples of the Hypatia of Alexandria who was stoned to death. Galileo Galilei, Nicholas Copernicus, Johannes Kepler, many such scientific minds were persecuted for various reasons. But this is the only civilization in the whole world where scientists and people of science have never been persecuted all through the civilizational history.
Thank you.
The only exception to this, please, madam, please give me 2 more minutes, madam. The only exception to this is the persecution of a scientist from ISRO by the Kerala Congress government, Nambi Narayan. And this is the only exception where a scientist was persecuted for political reasons by the Kerala Congress government. I also want to remind you that it was in 2013. It was in 2013 that Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi, as the candidate for Prime Minister, as the BJP's candidate for Prime Minister, when he visited Thiruvananthapuram, visits Nambi Narayan, promises that the country will stand by him again. And it was in 2018, after Narendra Modi government came into power, that Nambi Narayan was given the honor of Padma Shri Padma Bhushan, and that was how Narendra Modi government has respected, strengthened the scientific people and scientific institutions of India. Madam, I only want to conclude by saying this. Madam, many institutions are extremely important for strengthening our scientific prowess. One of them is HAL. I come from Bengaluru, and I want to tell you that just 7-8 years ago, the state of HAL was in dire distress. Today, not only is the company, the organization manufacturing LCA Tejas, but in recent meeting of the Honorable Prime Minister in Delhi, in US, along with GE, they have gotten into a memorandum of understanding to manufacture GE 414 F1414 engines with 80%
Yes,
technology
thank you.
transfer that is going to make
Thank
India a superpower in this. Madam, I only want, Madam, Madam Speaker, I will conclude with just this. I will conclude in 1 minute, madam. In 1 minute. Madam, the coming decade, whether it is geopolitically, whether it is energy security, whether it is any other aspect of our national politics, our geopolitics, it is going to be directly influenced by how India performs and how India takes the lead in important areas of emerging technology. And I must credit the Narendra Modi government for making India future-proof and tomorrow-ready by institutionalizing and supporting important scientific missions. I would want to read out only 4 or 5 of them. The National Quantum Enabled Science and Technology Program, National Quantum Technologies Application Program, National Research Foundation, National Supercomputer Mission, the National Green Hydrogen Mission. All of these are important programs that the government of India has undertaken to make India a pioneer in emerging technologies. One of the points that was made by Karti Chidambaram ji,
Thank you.
one of the points that he made, a very relevant point that he made, was how to popularize science among young people and students. I want to tell him that the Modi government in the last few years has been working with a mission focus to popularize science among children. And the Atal Innovation Mission and building of 10,000 Atal Tinkering Labs in our high schools with the objective of nurturing 10 lakh young minds who will explore the frontiers of science is an example of how the Narendra Modi government is trying to make science and technology a popular culture in the whole country. Madam, I only want to conclude by saying this.
Please conclude, please.
I will conclude.
The other people.
Madam, all of these aspects that has taken place in the last 9 years. I mentioned UPI, Digital India, Startup India, to the startups that are now emerging in space technology. One of the most promising startups in space called Pixel Space is run by an Indian engineer who comes from a small town called Chikmagalur, has raised a few $1 million from Google. The boy, Awais Ahmed, is a CEO of this and hails from Chikmagalur. It is possible only because the Modi government opened the space technology space for private players. Madam, the next few decades is going to be extremely important for the country in strengthening our industrial, our scientific institutions and making India future ready, India tomorrow ready. And we are extremely fortunate that at such an important point in history, we have the leadership of Narendra Modi, who has been leading this country with such foresight and vision. I want to once again congratulate the Prime Minister for his deftful leading of this country, deftful leadership for this country at such an important time. Thank you so much, madam.
Thank you.
Madam, thank you for allowing me to speak on the success of Chandrayaan 3 in this special session and this new Parliament House. I stand here today to speak on behalf of my party, All India Trinamool Congress. It makes me immensely proud as an Indian that we achieved this paramount feat. The feat we have achieved shall inspire millions and millions of kids across the country to be scientists and astronauts. As our Honorable Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee, Srimati Mamata Banerjee said, we are indeed in super league of space. We must remember it is an achievement of our scientists and every bit of credit of Chandrayaan 3 should go to them. It was a collective teamwork and effort of our ISRO scientists. However, it breaks my heart to see that the union government has given all credit to one political leader. hypocrisy to the union government as they appreciate Chandrayaan 3, but they have reduced the Department of Space budget in 2023-24 by 8% in comparison to the last year, with expenditure for space science receiving a cut of 32% even after delivering missions like Chandrayaan 3 and Aditya L1. While our own very ISRO is achieving this marvelous achievement, it has 303 vacancies for various scientists and engineers like electronic, mechanical and computer science. It also reflects a grave problem in our society of unemployment. The Reserve Bank of India's monthly bulletin for September shows that our unemployment rate has increased to 8.1%, which is extremely concerning. While we are trying to empower women by bringing in legislation like women reservation bill, but only 1 out of 4 employees of ISROs are women out of 16,000 employees. Not even a single woman in the panel that headed the Chandrayaan 3. The union government claims that India only achieved success after 2014. We must remember that we have been a democracy over 75 years and India began its space journey in 1960s. It is not today's effort that put us on this feet. Consistent effort for 60 years from the scientists and the people of India has put us on this feet. While the Indian government politics and action breaks my heart, I feel proud when I read about the contribution of Anuj Nandi from West Bengal, who designed the camera of Chandrayaan 3 spacecraft. When I hear a son of a farmer from West Bengal has been empowered to dream, empowered to catch the stars, this was the case of Chandrakant Kumar, the Deputy Project Director of Chandrayaan 2. He joined ISRO in 2001 and like every hard-working Bengali, proved his worth. This depicts our country's aspiration and we must work hard to make this aspiration possible. Most of the ISRO's employees are not from IIT, IIMs, but from different colleges across the country. It also raised few concerns in my mind as why the students from IIT and IIM prefers to work outside India, why thousands of students dream to study, work and settle abroad in India. Is the government giving enough facility to retain the top talent within the country to make the aspiration of youngsters like Anuj and Chandrakant in a reality? It is extremely important that we invest more in our space research, give ISRO a flexibility in their research and development that they deserve. We must promote academic research across different subjects throughout the country and not put ED behind those who differ from us. I would like to end with Dr. APJ Kalam's quote: "Winners are not those who never fail, but those who never quit." और उर्दू का 2 लाइन पर तवज्जो फरमाइए। चांद पे पर्दा की, चांद से पर्दा कीजिए, कहीं चुरा ना ले चेहरे का नूर। धन्यवाद।
Thank you. Honorable Member Maluk Nagar ji.
जी अध्यक्ष जी धन्यवाद बहुत बहुत। आज इस ऐतिहासिक समय पे नई पार्लियामेंट, महिला आरक्षण बिल और चंद्रयान 3 पे जो चर्चा हो रही है, एक ऐतिहासिक समय है। और ये चंद्रयान 3 देश की जीत है, देश के वैज्ञानिकों की जीत है, हम देश के 140 करोड़ लोगों की जीत है। आपके माध्यम से अपने सभी साथियों को और देशवासियों को सबको बहुत बहुत मुबारकबाद। जो जितना देश का नंबर तीसरे नंबर पे रहा और चंद्रमा के एक कोने पे पहले नंबर पे रहा, ये जाहिर सी बात है देश का नाम रोशन हुआ है और देश का नाम संसार में ऊपर आया है। और इसके लिए ये अच्छी बात भी है और कहीं ना कहीं पूरे संसार में छोटी मोटी कहीं ना कहीं कोई जलन भी है। जिस तरह कनाडा में पिछले दिनों घटना घटी और हमारी सरकार ने संज्ञान लिया और संज्ञान लेने के बाद जो बढ़ता हुआ कद है देश का और जो कश्मीर के लिए उन्होंने, जैसे हमने बैन किया कनाडा वालों को, कश्मीर के लिए जो बैन किया है कि वहां खतरा है, तो मैं आपके माध्यम से बताना चाहता हूं कि 17 तारीख को लाल चौक के पास पार्क में बहुत बड़ी रैली मैं करके आया हूं और मसूदी साहब हमारे बैठे थे, ज्यादातर लोग इनके क्षेत्र के थे जो मुसलमान गुजर थे, तो वहां बिल्कुल ऐसी कोई बात नहीं है जिस तरह का वहां कनाडा में बात फैलाई जा रही है। तो ये भी एक इस बारे में मैं बताना चाह रहा हूं। और पिछले दिनों सरकार ने जो 68-70 सालों से उन गुजर बकरवालों के साथ उनको न्याय नहीं मिला, जो पिछले दिनों न्याय मिला और उनका कोटा जो फिक्स किया, उससे वहां खुशी की लहर भी बहुत थी। पर कुछ पार्टियां वहां गुमराह कर रही हैं कि तुम्हारे कोटे में कहीं कोटा लिया जाएगा, तो मुझे पूरा यकीन है कि आने वाले समय में वो क्लियर हो जाएगा और सरकार सहानुभूति पूर्वक सोचेगी और उनके कोटे को कम नहीं करेगी। अगर किन्हीं लोगों को कोटा देना भी है, पहाड़ी या दूसरे पर कास्ट के लोगों को, तो उनका एसटी से अलग कोटा फिक्स करेंगे और अलग उनको कोई सुविधा देंगे। मुझे पूरी उम्मीद है उन लोगों को जब न्याय मिला है 68-70 सालों के बाद, तो उनका कोई अब उनके साथ अन्याय नहीं होगा। आज जो सुबह में राजनाथ जी को सुन रहा था कि विज्ञान और संस्कृति दोनों को साथ जोड़ के बताया, अच्छी बात थी बहुत। और हमारे साथी कुछ ट्रैप में आके संस्कृति या दूसरी चीजों पे जो खिलाफ बोल रहे थे, तो मेरे हिसाब से जो गठबंधन, ये महागठबंधन जो बनने जा रहा है, अगर इनको आने वाले समय में कमजोर करना है तो ट्रैप में जो आ रहे हैं, मेरे हिसाब से वो देश के लिए और देश की जनता के लिए किसी भी तरह ठीक नहीं है। एक बात अध्यक्ष जी और कहना चाह रहा हूं आपके माध्यम से, जो अभी हमारे एक कांग्रेस के बड़े, बीजेपी के बड़े वरिष्ठ साथी बोल रहे थे कि बजट हॉलीवुड की फिल्म और बॉलीवुड की फिल्म से कम था और फिर भी ये सफलता प्राप्त करी, तो मैं कहना चाहता हूं जो सारे हमारे देश के वैज्ञानिक हैं जो पूरे संसार में फैले हुए हैं और उनको यहां सुविधाएं नहीं मिल रही हैं, तो सरकार उनके बारे में सोचे, ऐसा पैकेज डील डिक्लेयर करे, वो वैज्ञानिक सारे देश के देश में ही रुके और देश के लिए काम करें और इससे भी ज्यादा तरक्की हमारी होती रहे। एक बात और कहना चाह रहा हूं कि पिछले दिनों जो शताब्दी दशकों पहले कहीं यूएस और यूएसएसआर का कंपटीशन होता था आपस में, जो हमारे चंद्रयान 3 को छोड़ा गया, तो रशिया जो यूएसएसआर का जो मुख्य पार्ट था, उसने जल्दी में आकर, हाबड़ ताबड़ में आकर अपना, ताकि कीर्तिमान उसका स्थापित हो जाए, और वो छोड़ा और वो रास्ते में ही जो है कहीं ना कहीं ऊपर वाले को शायद यही मंजूर था कि उनका फेल हुआ, बस खत्म कर रहा हूं जी, उनका फेल हुआ और हमारे देश का नाम, एक कीर्तिमान स्थापित हुआ। तो मैं कहना चाह रहा हूं कि ये जो टेक्नोलॉजी है, सरकार इसको कॉमर्शियली कैसे लगाए, और जो आंकड़े सवेरे आ रहे थे वो ज्यादा से ज्यादा पूरे संसार का इस सैटेलाइट के द्वारा, इस टेक्नोलॉजी के द्वारा कैसे ज्यादा से ज्यादा फायदा उठाया जाए और हमारे देश में विदेशी रिवेन्यू कैसे ज्यादा से ज्यादा आए, जो असली, बस खत्म कर रहा हूं, जो असली जीत होगी हमारे देश की, हमारे देश के लोगों की, और यही सबसे बड़ी उपलब्धि होगी। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
धन्यवाद। ऑनरेबल मेंबर श्रीमती अनुप्रिया पटेल जी, मंत्री जी।
धन्यवाद सभापति महोदया। इस महत्वपूर्ण विषय पर आपने मुझे मेरी बात रखने का अवसर दिया। आज हम इस नए संसद भवन के अंदर चंद्रयान 3 की सफलता और भारत की अंतरिक्ष के क्षेत्र में जो भी उपलब्धियां रही हैं उसके संबंध में विचारों का आदान प्रदान कर रहे हैं। सभापति महोदया, गत 23 अगस्त 2023 को भारत ने चंद्रमा की सतह पर अपने तिरंगे को लहराने की उपलब्धि प्राप्त की है और इसके साथ